Alright guys, so in this session we will be taking up this topic, Turkey's shift from secularism under Erdogan. So you can see that Turkey is trying to eliminate secularism in the country actually. In fact, I would say Turkey is almost abolished secularism. You can see the recent news that the military graduates who have taken the pro-secular oath. That means they pledged to defend the secular Turkey, and Erdogan have openly stated that they will be punished, and that's a very serious issue actually. That itself will tell you how secularism is almost abolished in Turkey actually. Okay, and the strange thing is that the democratic countries like India or US even not taking any stand against that, or not even, they're completely silent on that. So the topic of discussion today is the same, Turkey's shift from secularism. Okay, especially in the context of Erdogan's statement that the military graduate who took the oath, pro-secular oath, will be punished. Okay, so that's the topic that we are going to deal with. So let's start the session. Okay, so introduction to Turkey's political shift. Turkey, once a symbol of secularism in the Muslim world, has undergone a significant political shift. So Erdogan's influence is very significant in this. Turkey's foundational principles of secularism are being systematically dismantled. So the statement which he have made regarding the punishment of military graduates who have taken pro-secular oath can be considered in that way also. So the shifting legacy, I am giving these headings so that you can just write one point on each of these. That's the reason why one point is given on each of these. The key words is what these are. So you need to mention, in case if you get a general essay on secularism, you should be in a position to write about Turkey's stance, not only the Indian secularism. I'll also talk about what is secularism, what is the Indian version of secularism, or what is a Western version of secularism, or what exactly secularism is all about, and what are the secular nations or states. Okay, all these we can quickly look into this. So if you get a specific question on Turkey's shift as part of international relation, you should be in a position to write. If you get a general question on secularism in paper 1 GS social areas, you should be in a position to write. In the third paper also they can ask this question, and in essay also they can ask a question on secularism. So it's a very important topic. That's the reason why I'm trying to add almost all the points here. Okay, so it's all about, okay, now a shocking move. So Erdogan openly declared that military graduates who swore an oath to defend secularism would be punished. So this is a point that I have told you, the military graduates who have taken a pro-secular oath, which means to defend the secular Turkey, they will be punished. That's a statement which was from Erdogan. So these graduates have pledged to uphold the secular nature of Turkey state, which Erdogan views as a threat to his vision for Turkey. Okay, so the global silence on Turkey's shift, I told you already. Even if you look at democratic countries like India, we claim to be secular nation, but we are silent on that. US is silent on that. So that's again a concern actually. So despite the serious nature of Erdogan's action, the global community, including major democracies like US and India, have largely remained silent. So that shows erosion of secularism. So very few have publicly condemned Erdogan's systemic erosion of secularism, which raises concern about future democracy in Turkey. So when we when you're trying to attack secularism, you're not only trying to attack secularism or abolishing secularism, automatically it's a threat to democracy as well. Okay. So reshaping the identity, that's his campaign all about, campaign against secularism. Erdogan has made it very clear that he wants to reshape Turkey's identity by removing its secular roots. Last day, even when we discussed about Bangladesh also, I told you that trying to shift towards that use of Islamic symbols in the flag. So as of now, if you see Bangladeshi flag, it is completely secular. You can see a green which is related to greenery. If you see the red color, that is related to the bloodshed in 1971. There is no religious symbols. On the other hand, if you look at Iran, which is not a secular state, which is a religious state, similarly Pakistan, they have all religious symbols. So there can be a shift from Turkey's side also towards that way, like what we discussed in case of Bangladesh. Targeting institutions, this government has targeted pro-secular institutions, including the military, which has long been a defender of Ataturk's secular vision. We'll talk about him. Secularism around the world. See, many countries around the world have state religions. If you look at England, you think England is a secular state? No, Christianity is an official religion. Okay, so England is not a secular state. And if you look at Pakistan, it's not a secular state. Sri Lanka is not a secular state. Afghanistan, religious state, right? So they have official religion. So Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Iran, also examples of countries where Islam or Buddhism is a state religion. So state religion is there. When it comes to India, we don't have a state religion. And even in the preamble also you can see it is secular. So the secularism that we follow is different. The secularism West follows different. Okay, so the secularism West follows religion and state is separate. When it comes to India, we consider all religion as equal. So these are two different versions of secularism. And the real sociological definition of secularism, if you look into, that there is no religion. When we talk about Marx, religion is not there. That's the, when you talk about secularism, no religion, no belief on God, no belief on religion. That's the high level, in fact, version of secularism. So if you look at the two debates or two dimensions, when we normally discuss secularism on West, that is related to state and religion is separate, two different entities. When it comes to Indian version of secularism, that all religion will be treated equally. Okay. So secularism, in contrast, most countries claim to be secular with no official religion, influencing governance, but this concept is very... See, when even we also talk about secular country, but religion, does it influence the election? Will it influence the government? Will it influence the government policies? Yes, of course. So most of the countries who even claim to be secular, but directly or indirectly, the influence of religion will be there. Okay? You cannot see a Muslim becoming an Indian Prime Minister. No way it will happen. He can be a president like Abdul Kalam Azad and all, but he can never be a Prime Minister. Okay, we'll see that. We'll discuss that. Now, secularism in the West. Secularism in India, I've already discussed this. In the West, if you look at US, Canada, Europe, etc., secularism means a strict separation between religion and government. State and religion, or the government and religion is entirely different. Okay? Earlier, if you see, church control everything, but that's not the case now when it comes to European or West. India, secularism means equal treatment of all religion by the government without giving preferential treatment to any specific religion or faith. Okay. Now, underlying principles of secularism are similar, but the interpretation varies between countries. That means, see, when you actually talk about secularism, the relevance of religion is gone. That's what secularism means. Initially, if you talk about 15th, 16th century or even before that, anything, whether it is an earthquake or any natural calamity, you connect it with God. Right? You connect it with God and will tell that God have made this. So that's extreme belief on religion. So that phase, after that, you see that, attendance in church is coming down because there are certain things where religion is not able to answer. Right? So that is when the secularist dimension actually started, and some questions the existence of God also. There is no such God. So there is, everything started explaining scientifically. That's the real secularism. Secularism means, you can take it as a scientific temper, or explanations are given on the basis of logic, reason, evidence, rather than God have made this. That's the ultimate idea of secularism. But we talk about these two when you're writing in the essay, but this is the perspective that you can add in your answer. All right. So Turkey's secular constitution. According to Turkey's constitution, the country is officially secular. Officially, country is secular, and Erdogan's influence gradually eroding this identity, and his government has already made several changes to weaken that influence. And political shift, once a defender of secular democracy, is now facing a major political shift, and all this comes under Erdogan. Okay, now Ataturk vision of Turkey. Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, the founding father of modern Turkey, envisioned a progressive, modern and secular state. Okay, so secular republic. After the collapse of Ottoman Empire, Ataturk built a secular republic that ensured equal rights for all citizens, including religious minorities. So that secular dimension is there. Everybody is considered equal. But again, when you talk about Turkey, when a child is born, the child is born, and when he is born, he is automatically considered as a Muslim. So there is an element of that is already there, unless and otherwise it is not declared a different religion. Okay. So, disdain. Erdogan have shown disdain of his vision of secular Turkey, and military oath changed actually. So the oath actually had a secular element that has been changed in 2022. Erdogan made a key change by removing a line in the military that pledged allegiance to Ataturk and his secular vision. So that's exactly what these pro-secular, oath which has been taken place. In fact, it is removed in 2022. That's the way to remove or abolish or eliminate secularism. Okay, symbolic break. This move has a symbolic break from Ataturk legacy and part of Erdogan's broader plan to reshape Turkey's identity. So he want to shape Turkey's identity or reshape Turkey's identity like a Muslim nation. In fact, if you look at, they are going to make an alliance with Islamic countries against Israel also. Okay, though Turkey is not a officially Islamic country. Turkey is a officially secular country. So I hope that point is again very clear. And Erdogan don't like Ataturk, so that's why he wanted to change it. Okay, so removing secularism from the military. So these are secular institutions, right? When it comes to military, these are secular institutions. So removing that from, military oath. Government has removed the commitment to defend a secular and democratic Turkey from the military oath. Military institutions. This change has been part of broader campaign to eliminate secularism from various institutions, especially military. A more flexible secularism. Even before Erdogan's changes, Turkey's secularism was not as strict as in Western countries, right? That's the point which I have already mentioned. For example, when a child is born in Turkey, they're automatically assumed to be Muslim unless the parents formally declare otherwise. So it's not that strictly secularism. Child is born, he's automatically a Muslim. Okay? Erdogan's impact. This practice shows that secularism in Turkey has always been more flexible, but his recent actions have further weakened its influence. Military graduates swear to defend secularism. So defiance of Erdogan. So despite all these actions, many youth have taken that military graduates have taken Ataturk's secular ideals, and they have taken the oath, and they are going to be punished according to the statement of Erdogan. An official oath has been taken. Military graduates took the unofficial oath, and that's the news that we discussed. Continued resistance. That video is leaked and showing that continued resistance to Erdogan's authoritarian policy or his idea to reshape the identity or abolish secularism. Erdogan's threat to punish secular graduates. We already discussed this point. So there he is going to severely punish. This is a very serious question, but the strange thing is that the other democratic countries or secular countries is not reacting against it. So secular graduates, he hoped to use these punishments to warning to others so that they will be discouraged from such kind of further acts. So however, punishing a large number of pro-secular military graduates will be a significant challenge for Erdogan government also. Military graduates, challenge for Erdogan. So it's not easy to punish them. Already we discussed this. It's a repetition. Many of these graduates are deeply committed to preserving Ataturk's vision of secular and democratic Turkey. So a group of military graduates, they are coming and they are taking a secular oath by pledging that they want to have a secular Turkey. Then it is very difficult to punish them, right? Even the public support is also very important when it comes to this situation. And secularism, as more young people rally behind secularism, Erdogan faces increasing opposition from within Turkey's military and society and from the public. Hope for secularism in Turkey. Enduring identity. Despite Erdogan's effort, there is a hope that Turkey's secular identity will endure like that. Ataturk's principle shows that many citizens, especially the youth, still believe in his key principles, especially secularism and equal rights for all the citizens. Glimmer of hope. These movements represent a glimmer of hope for the future democracy and secularism in Turkey. So, yeah, now conclusion. It's a threat to democracy. Erdogan's dismantling the Turkey's secular foundations poses a serious threat to country's democratic future. See guys, secularism is one of the basic foundation principle of democracy. Okay, so if you are abolishing secularism means automatically you are trying to abolish democracy, and it is going to be an authoritarian situation. So the public support won't be there, and that's a threat to democracy. Ataturk's legacy, resistance from military graduates and the Turkish population shows that his legacy is far from dead. It will be continued, and Erdogan won't be able to demolish or abolish that. Global support. So global support is actually required so that it is not only to protect secularism but to protect democracy also. So that's the conclusion, guys, and that's about this particular session. So thank you so much for watching. See you soon in the next session. I give you the PPT, I give you the link in the description. I give you a webinar also. If you wish to attend the webinar, you can attend the webinar in the coming session. Thank you so much.